Well, there was a few updates this week. There's a lot of Brittney Griner news. So the first thing is she wrote a letter to the president.
Okay.
All right, so in this article, the Washington Post, they don't sponsor us, but that's who I'm subscribed with. So they always get their tagline up here. But anyway, WNBA star Brittney Griner, who has been detained in Russia since February on drug charges, wrote a letter to the President Biden that was delivered to the White House on Monday morning. So that was almost a week ago, her sports agency said. So in the letter, Brittney Griner, 31, expressed fear over not knowing how long she would be detained and urged Biden to work for her release and that of other Americans detained abroad. So yeah, it's getting to that point where, and you're going to see why it's getting to that point where she's kind of trying to throw up signals like, hey, I'm over here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Randy, you want to read portion of the letter?
Oh, it's a treat. We get the actual letter. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
And the letter is as follows. As I sit here in a Russian prison, alone with my thoughts and without the protection of my wife, family, friends, Olympic jersey, or any accomplishments, I'm terrified I might be here forever. Griner wrote in an excerpt of the letter shared by Wasserman, a talent agency that represents the Phoenix Mercury Center. Next page. I realize you are... Oh, and then it goes on the second part of her letter. I realize you are dealing with so much. She's referencing writing this to the president. But please don't forget about me and the other American detainees, she added. Please do all you can to bring us home. I voted for you the first time in 2020, and I voted for you. Man, she's detained.
No. I voted for the first time in 2020, and I voted for you. That's what she said.
Oh, I see.
It was her first time voting, and she voted for him. Gotcha.
Okay, and then continued, she says, I believe in you. I still have so much good to do with my freedom that you can help restore. I miss my wife. I miss my family. I miss my teammates. It kills me to know they are suffering so much right now. I am grateful for whatever you can do at this moment to get me home.
Yeah. So that's the excerpt from the letter she wrote to the president. I believe he did respond. I'll look into that. So, but yeah, do you have any thoughts about just that so far?
Very humble, very respectable letter. I might, she's displaying acknowledgement that, that he's a very busy man. She's also acknowledging that there's others, here in a similar predicament. So not really like showing like an urge of like selfishness of like I, yeah. And just like, hey, if there's something you can do, it would be greatly appreciated. And I think that is very honorable and respectful for her. It's a really good look, so I don't have a problem with that,
No, there's no problem with it, but any feelings about what she said? Or
I'm like, well, you know what? It's just I've never been incarcerated, so I don't know the thoughts.
Yeah.
But but I know that when it's just you, yourself, and I, like, your mind can ramble and wander. So I know that, because this is something I didn't see coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're so far away from home, so it's not like you're like in the States, where it's like something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a fine, maybe probation, maybe a couple of things. Not really a slap on the wrist. I don't want to say that, but it'll be something. But ultimately, you're free. You're not locked up. For a real hard offense because you didn't.
Yeah, Randy. Anything a way you feel about it? I know you can come from a woman's perspective, so it might have a little more. What is it? More empathy towards it.
Well, two things. First thing, not sure if this is true. I can't recall where I saw this, but there was another statement that came out saying like, oh, this would have never have happened to LeBron James. Did she really say that? I'm not too sure. But if she did, first of all, LeBron James is LeBron James, so he would never be putting himself in that predicament, one. So I think that's uncalled for if she did say that.
I don't think she said that. I think that was said. I think I know a little bit what you're talking about. I can't remember who said it, but it was like in a news media.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it came from her directly. I mean, but it's true though. It's true.
Yeah, it's a weird predicament, you know. And then there is. I might let's just be honest. Like, in my opinion, politics is biased. You know what I mean? Because it favors somebody, and it's like if you're not favored, the politics go against you. You know what I mean? So I do understand, like, if whoever said that, if she said it, or if someone said it, I do understand the nod and the jab, and you're absolutely right. Like, if this was somebody else in a similar stature, this wouldn't have been in question, you know. And me personally, I don't really like politics, you know.
All right, so more on that. So she wrote that she got that letter to the White House on Wednesday. On Monday. So on Wednesday, President Biden told the wife of WNBA star Brittney Griner, who has been detained in Russia since February, we already came, that he is working to secure the basketball player's release. It says as soon as possible, the White House said. So not directly from Biden, but his staff.
Sounds like a general statement.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like anything specific. So during the call, I guess he called her, which is pretty good. Biden also read Sherelle Griner a draft of a letter that he was planning to send to Brittney later Wednesday, according to the White House, which said Vice President Harris also participated. That's Kamala Harris. The president called Sherelle to reassure her that he is working to secure Brittney's release as soon as possible, as well as the release of Paul Whelan and other U.S. nationals who are wrongfully detained or held hostage in Russia around the world. So
powerful word.
Yeah.
That's written down. It's a very strong word.
That's written down. It's in the article.
Yeah, because if you was to use that word in court, he was like, you know, the.
Well, he didn't say
I know.
that.
I'm just speaking just in general, like, you know, that word was to be used in court. You know, they'd be like,
no, that is a quote.
Like, what?
Yeah, that's a quote from the White House, as well as the release of Paul Whelan and other U.S. nationals who are wrongly detained or held hostage in Russia and around the world. That's a quote. Yeah.
That was my question. Who are the other detainees then?
Is it? Well, there's a couple soldiers being held that got captured. There's a couple U.S. soldiers who were fighting in Ukraine. I don't know how that happened.
Everyone, follow POWs, Prisoner of Wars, Missing in Actions nonprofit foundation. Get plugged in, man.
All right.
Wow, it's really unfortunate. And I guess, like, before the war, I believe we were talking and, like, off the record saying that there was a lot of people like flooding to get out. So
yeah,
I think that's when they, I guess.
Yeah, when the war started, there were a lot of WNBA players in Russia, and the WNBA like called all them home like immediately. So I think Brittney missed that by like 4 days. She had got detained on the 17th. WNBA called everybody home on the 21st. It was something like that. Like, it was that close where she was just not lucky enough to get in there.
So they could have captured more. And I think if it would have been
Who
more,
knows
I think it
what
would have
happened,
looked a little bit more. I'm like, this one that they have is big enough in my opinion. But I think if they would have collected maybe 2 or 3 stars, then I think that it would have been like, okay, like, yeah, this is this needs to be really addressed. This still needs to be addressed.
I know she broke the law. I don't have a dispute that, like, you know, in America we'll be like, oh, there was nothing. It was like hashish oil, but that's like American law. And I understand like laws in other countries are different and you have to respect them. But like you can't deny that this is like it's a bigger move for Russia. Like we've said before, it's kind of a muscle move, and people disagree with us in comments. But it's a big deal that during this conflict that they're having in Ukraine, they have a high-profile American prisoner. Like whether or not she actually broke the law or not, it's kind of like to us in America, I think is like irrelevant at this point. Especially since it's a law that we don't care about here. We're like, it's like we should look over there and be like, yo, why are you holding our people like that? You know?
Yeah.
And it's weird that people don't like see it that way. Like, and I think there's people like you know, because Brittney's, I guess she's kind of liberal in a way. So I think it's like people being bitter, you know, about like, oh, now you see, you know, now you want to come back to America and whatnot. And I'm like, it's not the time, right? It's not the time to throw your political. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not the time to throw your political pettiness around, yo.
This is the very reason. Like, because it's like I could have something on me, in their words, in my person, that could be unlawful, and then it's like
you're not necessarily aware of it.
Yeah,
right?
and then it's like you're trying to hit me for 5 to 10 years. Like, wait, what? Like for a pin top? Like, what do you mean? Oh, because it had a sharp end. Like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, let's not go jumping out the window, you know? You know, and I'm just like, now if she had an amount where she was trying to sell, then I understand. But if this is personal use, do I feel like something should be done? I do agree with that. And I feel like at this point now, I just feel like time is served, because at the end of the day, this particular individual is losing money now. Like, her job is, she is a member of a professional women's basketball team, and the season started.
I'm gonna say it like I feel. I don't care about them Russia laws right now. Like, this is America, yo. Like, she's an American. Get her home. I don't care about the Russian laws. Like, Russia is, they're not in favor of anybody except China at this point. They're flexing. I don't care what we have to do. Get all the American people who are held hot, like the White House said. This is a quote from the White House, right? Wrongfully detained or held hostage in Russia. Get them home ASAP. If we gotta blow something up, we gotta blow something up. But sometimes stuff gotta be, you know.
My hands are up. I didn't say anything. You know, my mom.
I'm saying it.
My mom begging me not to get an apology. Like, Chris, you better not. My hands are up.
This isn't a political thing. It's patriotical.
Right. These colors don't run.
Yeah, exactly. These colors don't run.
That sounds
Ricky
good.
Bobby.
I'm not looking at nobody's like political affiliation. Who's over there? I don't care. I don't care if you liberal, Democrat, Republican, conservative, libertarian. If you wrongfully held hostage, or wrongfully detained, or held hostage in Russia, you like bring them back.
No, I agree.
It's like, you know, like we argue at home. This is like family. We can argue back and forth, yell at each other about politics and whatnot. But once somebody else outside the house start talking mess, be like, no, don't talk about my brother like that. You could have just beat up your brother, but nobody else can come beat up your brother.
Absolutely. So, like your parents would made a smack down on you.
Yeah.
If they found out that like you didn't defend, you know.
Right, so this is the last thing on that, and then we'll wrap it up. So Brittney Griner actually pleaded guilty to the drug charge in Russia. This was on Thursday.
So guilty or no contest? I think no contest is guilty, right?
I don't like I said, it's a different country. I don't know how their laws work, if they even have no contest or whatever.
Because no contest is like considered guilty. Like,
all right, so we have she said, I'd like to plead guilty, Your Honor. Griner said Thursday, according to a Reuters reporter in the courtroom, but there was no intent. I didn't want to break the law. She then asked to give her testimony at a later date, saying she needed time to prepare, and the court adjourned. So earlier, a top Russian official indicated that no steps could be taken on the prisoner swap until the case was complete. So I don't know. That's what Russia's saying. I would still be like, nah, give him back. Well, I guess Russia official is saying that nothing can be done until her case is finished. But if I was the White House, I would be like, yeah, no. But anyway, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei said, yeah, I can't pronounce this name, don't blame me, said the push in the United States for a prisoner exchange was not helping Griner's chances of release. So Sergei spoke to the journalist before the court convened in Moscow, suburb of another city I can't pronounce. The American side's attempt to foment hype and make noise in the public environment are understandable, but they don't help to practically resolve issues. I don't like that. I don't like that statement. But Griner entered the court handcuffed and wearing a red shirt and red slacks. Now she bled it out, according to a video from state-owned RIA news agency. Okay. So basically, they're saying we will not relent. Who's this saying this? Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said the United States would not give up working for Griner's release, as well as that of other Americans detained in Russia, including former Marine Paul Whelan. So Tony Blinken, we will not relent until Brittney, Paul Whelan, and other wrongfully detained Americans are reunited with their loved ones. So we'll leave it at that.
Just those underworld people over there.
Yeah, so a direct quote about the matter from the Secretary of State is important. I don't like how Russia's saying like they don't care. Our comments or our push to do prisoner trades or whatever business we're trying to do to free these people isn't helping. Like I said, don't act like Russia isn't flexing right now. It's just too obvious. Like
No, I might.
when like the White House comes out and was like, yeah, we need these prisoners, and Russia's like, well, we got to have a case first. We know you're trying to do moves, but we got to have a case first. Like, for what? Well, you're going to have a case to say, oh, guilty or innocent, and then we're going to do a prisoner trade? What was the case for?
Just manipulate the time, it seemed like.
Yeah, so they just flexing right now. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I agree when you break it down like that.